evening. Good evening again. All right. My name is Dr. Craig Parkinson. I'm the superintendent of Chester Upland School District. And first, let me just say I'm extremely excited that you all are with us this evening. I think we have a great night for you. This is an opportunity to connect with our alumni. I'm going to share the agenda with you first, but before I share the agenda, let me first start by saying everybody in this room is extremely important. So let me start by saying that. But we have some other important people that I would like to introduce. I'm just going to acknowledge them as a group. Our school board members are here with us this evening. Some of them are, obviously alumni of Chester Upland School District, but they're giving the ultimate sacrifice in serving their community. If our school board members could just stand and wave to the crowd, and just please a round of applause for these members who, again, do a job that no pay for, but serve the community and the children of the Chester Upland School District. I'm going to start with the agenda. So let me first say I attended my first Chester Upland School District homecoming, or first Chester High homecoming this past Saturday, which was by far one of the most amazing things I've ever participated. I had my homecoming. I went to Millersville University. I had my homecoming this coming Saturday, and I've already let the good people know that you're gonna have to show up, because I was at a high school homecoming. It's something amazing. So just real quick, I understand that one of the traditions in the Chester Upland School District is they always want to know which class is the best. So I'm curious if you could just let me know. What was the best graduation class of Chester? Okay. I don't know. So I'm gonna have to go with listen, in order. I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm gonna have to go with the loudest was 1950. So,
Oh, 1948.
Oh, wait. I think 1948 just canceled out 1950, but it was a tie. It was close. So what I want to know is if you could just stand. What I would like to know is, are there any members of the class of 2021 present this evening? Just a little yell. And we're going to go by decade. 2021, class of 2020 here. How about members of the class of 1990 to 1999? Any members here? 90. All right. How about members of class of 1980-89? Okay. Members of the class of 1970 to 79. I see Miss Karen out there, still cheering from Saturday. How about members from the class of 1960 to 69? 1960 to 69? Any member? Okay. All right. Class of 50-59. Any members? Class of 1950, right here, right? All right, welcome. And we're going to go to 49. Class of 48. 1948. I think that might be our winner tonight. We have a member of the class of 1948. How about, I did that. Just like they always late, the millennials. So we're gonna be all right. We'll start over for them. But our winner tonight is the class 1948. Ma'am. All right. Well, thank you and welcome. All right. All right. Congratulations. So I'm good with the crowd that we have tonight, because I like to do something special. I was a high school principal, and I know many of you know that, because we all use Google and we talk to people, so I appreciate that. But one of the things when I was a high school principal, the thing I used to love to do before each meeting when we assembled and we gathered, what I would always do is I start with the alma mater. So my expectation is that everybody who's in the house tonight definitely knows the alma mater. We're going to stand up and sing it loud and proud with some pride and enthusiasm. And I tell you this, if you don't sing it well, we're going to do it again. And that was the expectation. So I'm not going to start it off because I don't know the notes. So I'm going to ask Dr. Chambers to come before us, start the alma mater off, and always say P&E, good people, some pride and enthusiasm. Let's make it happen. All right, Dr. Chambers.
Ready? Hail of Chester High, all honor, praise be thine. We owe whate'er we are to thee, whate'er we hope to be. On future's broadening path, where life's stern duties lie, we'll firmly tread with vision clear, and thank thee, Chester High.
Now that was beautiful. That is what I'm talking about. That is how every assembly that I participated in, that's how we would start every school gathering, and that's how we would end all of our gatherings with the singing of the alma mater. So extremely important to continue that tradition. So Dr. Chambers has volunteered to make sure that happens with all the good people. So again, I'm Dr. Craig L. Parkinson, Superintendent of Chester Upland School District, and I'm so honored to be before each and every one of you. I'm high energy, full of excitement, and as the night goes on, the excitement will continue to build, and that's just how it goes. But what we're going to do, Receiver Nichols and I are going to first take some time to share a little bit about ourselves, to talk about, why are we here in Chester Upland School District, and just speak to you about what we see for the future of this amazing school district. So I'm going to show deference. We're going to start with Mr. Nichols, who is a native of Chester, a graduate of Chester, who has come back home to do great work for the children of the Chester Upland School District. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Nafis Nichols.
Good evening, good evening. Thank you, Dr. P, and I think he did omit the classes of 2000 to 2010, which I represent the great class of 2003 that walked the halls of Chester High School. So I didn't yell.
I did omit that?
You did omit.
All right.
He did it on purpose, I think, but that's okay. But good evening. Again, I am truly honored and privileged to stand before you tonight as the appointed receiver. And I know that some individuals may have had some concerns, issues, or, doubt as to why Nafis Nichols did this. And I'll be quite honest with you. A lot of you in here, you know me. Some of you do not. When I was a peer leader and also working for the Crozier Wellness Center, and we did a lot of youth programs here in this building and throughout the district, we played a game called Whisper Down the Lane with the students. And the thing was, you say something positive, 30 children in the classroom, and the last person was to say what the first person heard, and it was always wrong. So everything you heard about me was wrong. Everything you heard was wrong. I was frustrated in June when I received an email that we were losing another receiver. We've been in receivership since 2012, and at the time we were losing receiver number 5. As many of you know, we also, since I've been doing great work in the city of Chester via Crozier, the city, the Chester Youth Collaborative, and many Weed and Seed and all the other things that I've done, we have been through, I counted, Dr. Parkinson is the 19th superintendent of schools, and I've been doing this work since 2003. So for me, it was frustrating, and I said, excuse my French, what the hell? Let me throw a shot in the dark and see what I can do. That's how it happened. So I sent my information in on my own accord, because I care deeply about this city, this community, these young people. My relatives are products of this district. My relatives are currently attending this district, and they deserve the exact same things that the districts surrounding us are getting. And unfortunately, with all of the inconsistency in leadership, things fall through the cracks, right? We can't have that anymore. When I met this gentleman here, we didn't know each other from Adam. He had, what you say, Google, right? Googled me. I didn't Google you, I'll be honest. But it was so many things out there about the both of us, but as soon as we sat down, it was a no-brainer. You know, we work in tandem together to do what's best for the students of this district each and every day, and our ideas are really aligned. I don't want to give you too much, but you know me, sometimes I do it. I always have someone that tells me to shut up when I talk. But we did a facilities tour. Deplorable conditions our schools are in. Deplorable. We have an opportunity now, as we have federal funding because of COVID and everything else, where a large amount of money came into this district, and the district was in the process of doing some major renovations. But again, me being in this line of work for the last almost 20 years, I've seen major renovations done before, millions of dollars just going into the schools. And I said, Dr. P, I talked to some others on the staff, I have a crazy idea, but that's me. I always have crazy ideas. That's how I ended up here, right? I said, we need to build new schools, and that's what we're going to do. Yeah. That's something to clap at. Hence, one reason why we want you all here now, because everyone, no one person, no group can do this alone. It's going to take all of us. I work with the state at the city, you all know, and I'm going to go out and say it. I did a damn good job at the city. I did. The state could have told me to exit south, get out. When I was on council, they asked me to resign. The state asked me to resign. They called me to Harrisburg. I told them no. They called me back. I told them no again. And then the third time, they had a liaison from the governor's office, and they said, you need to do this. And I said, okay, I'll do it, right? So I've been working with the state for many, many years on the community economic development side. That's who oversees municipalities, not PDE, which we're getting to now. But one thing that I've always said to the state, and I know that side was tired of hearing of it, and I said it to this side as well, you can't use a cookie-cutter approach to fix my community. You just can't do it. So it's going to take people like you, me, and a great team we have assembled here to address the issues that we face and have been facing for decade after decade. So I'm here, again, in the interim basis until June. My ultimate goal is to work myself out of a job and restore this district and hand it back over to these elected members of the school board. That's the ultimate goal, to get us on financial good footing and turn it over. No, I am not an educator, but no receiver has to do anything with education. I don't know if you knew that or not. That's his job and his team's job. My job is to make sure that they have the resources and supports needed to adequately educate our young people. That's my job, and that's what I'm here to do. And I want to do it with each and every one of you. So I know I got kind of off topic a little bit, but you know, that's my spiel, and I'm here for the long haul as long as you'll have me. Well, not you'll have me, the judge will have me. And he said one thing that I said in there, a lot of people came before me, they had a lot of letters behind their names, but they couldn't fix the issue. So let's try something different. So what the judge said, you're right, let's try something different. So I'm different, because no cookie cutter approach is going to fix this issue. We have to think outside of the box, and that's what we're going to do. Failure is not an option. It is not. It is not an option. As you all hold me accountable, I'm going to hold you accountable. Step up. Don't just speak up, but step up, and let's put some action behind it.
I like that.
That's all I want us to do, because failure is not an option. So, Dr. P, I'm going to turn it back over to you, but I'm here. I'm here.
Maybe I should have went first. In all seriousness, I can tell you this, as Mr. Nichols said, when we first met, we hit it off. It was just an amazing, the energy. And you know, you can feel, when you feel good energy, you know what good energy feels like. And it was instant when I met him, and it was true. You know, obviously when Mr. Nichols came to the district, the rumors, everything was going out that, you know, he's coming over to take over, and, you know, he's not going to keep the district within the schools within the district, and it's going to go to charters and all this different things. And you know, Mr. Nichols and I have had some great conversations conversation. And our goal is to make sure that this district remains in the hands of the community and the people of Chester. So we're going to make that happen, definitely, without a doubt. So let me share my why. Why am I here? This is a guy who has no direct ties to Chester, and he just shows up one day and says, hey, I want to be the superintendent of Chester Upland School District. So let me just share a little bit about where I come from, who I am. I came to Pennsylvania in 1989 when I graduated from high school in Alexandria, Virginia. I went to Millersville University on a track scholarship. Didn't know much about Pennsylvania, had really never been to Pennsylvania, but I knew it was a place where I could run track, where my high school track coach drove me up on a weekend to come. So went to Millersville, met my wife, which kept me here in Pennsylvania. She's from Philadelphia, girls high product, and that's what kept me in Pennsylvania. I always thought I would go back to Virginia. I didn't even think I would last in Pennsylvania for more than a year. My thought was I would come here, run track for a year, then transfer to a Division I school. But I joined an organization, great members of Kappa Alpha Psi. That was another piece that kept me connected to the school. So after fast forward a few years, graduated from Millersville with a social work degree. So again, I'm an outside the box educator as well. I was a practicing social worker for 8 years before I got into education. I've always wanted to be in a service-oriented field. It was always my goal to find a way to help people and to provide hope. I'm a hope enthusiast is what people describe me as. I'm always looking for the brighter side of things. So, I was a social worker for a number of years, but I was working with youth and the children at a level where they were in the court system, adjudicated youth who were in juvenile detention centers. I felt the need to get into to a place where I could service those children before they got into the system, which then led me to education. I became a special education teacher after I completed my master's in education from Westchester University. I was a teacher for 4 years. After teaching for 4 years, I became an assistant principal. After becoming an assistant principal for 4 years, I then transitioned to Phoenixville Area School District, where again, I served as 4 years as assistant principal. After 4 years, I became the high school principal for the next 11 years in the Phoenixville Area School District. I'm here because I want to serve the Chester Upland School District. Again, I was in a very successful community. I was in a very successful school district. I was the highest paid principal in Chester County prior to leaving to come to Chester Upland. Prior to leaving, I was offered a job in that community to serve as the Director of Equity, Inclusion, DEI, Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and to supervise all of the principals in that community. Everyone asked me prior to leaving, why are you coming to Chester Upland School District? Everyone talked about Chester. My whole purpose was, why not come to Chester? Why not show up here and give myself to this community? Even when I arrived to Chester, I was asked by people, the community members, why are you coming to Chester? Which really, I couldn't understand that, which, I felt like I would be more embraced and, people would be excited. But the question was, they were puzzled. Why was I arriving? What was I going to do here in Chester? What made me think I could do something different than what people had tried before me? Again, I'm a praying man, and I believe many of the members of this audience in this community are spiritual and praying people. And I'll be honest, I prayed on this, to come to Chester. Again, not knowing much about Chester, I tried to think of every excuse, to stay in Phoenixville, where I was comfortable, where I knew everybody, the community knew me, they loved me, embraced me. It was just an amazing feeling. But I promise you that God led me to be in this community to serve the children of the Chester School District. Nothing else, nothing more. I didn't get, gain any notoriety, any additional money. Like I said, prior to leaving, the district, I was offered additional money to stay there. But I wanted to be here. I wanted to be here because I felt like the children in this community have been cheated out of a quality education, out of the opportunities that I've seen. And that I've seen in a healthy school district. I can tell each and every one of you, I know what it takes to move the needle, to move the district forward. I was blessed and fortunate to be able to identify a team to come on board with me, to assist me in making this happen. And I can tell you, we have a dynamic team. We have educators who have been trained in turnaround schools, who have actually done this work before, where they've come in communities and made a difference. As Mr. Nichols said, I'm not here to take this community, take this school from this community. community. My goal is to partner with each and every one of you. Since day one, since I started on July, I think it was July 16th, I've been out every week. I meet with students every day. I've been out in the community. I've seen many of you out in the audience. I'm a person that does not sit still, and I'm going to keep moving. I promise you this, that as long as you will have me, because it will be you, and obviously, Receiver Nichols will have me. I want to be here to serve. I was in Phoenixville, like I said, for 15 years. I've never been in a place for less than 8 years, ever. I've never been in a job for less than 8 years, because I understand for systemic change to take place, it's a minimum of 3 to 5 years. I understand that. So my goal is to be here as long as, again, the community will have me, allow me to do this great work with this amazing team that I have. I can tell you that I know what to do to move this community forward, to move the education in this community forward. And it's going to take each and every one of us. I know no one in this room can do it alone, but that's why it's a partnership. I'm known as a collaborative leader. I'm known as a servant leader, which if you ask me to identify myself, I am a servant leader, but I'm very collaborative in what I do. And you'll see this. And one of the things I always say to people, and I said this to the teachers at Convocation, my first time meeting them, I can stand up here and tell you everything you want to hear, but the only thing that's going to make you all believers is watching me do this work on a daily basis. And I tell you this, that my body of work does speak for itself. I can tell you that you will see everything I say I'm going to do will be done. And I'm saying that before you. And as Mr. Nichols said, Receiver Nichols said, I'm asking each and every one of you, like I said to the teachers on that first day, the entire staff, I need you all to hold me accountable. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I said we were going to have this event tonight, we showed up. Everything I say we do, we're going to do, I will make happen. So enough about that. If you have any other questions about me, please stop by. And I told people I have an open door policy. And I can tell you the first day after Convocation, teachers just knocked on my door and said, we just want to see if that door was open, like you said it was. It was open, I spent a few hours with a few people that day, just having some great conversations. So, what I want to do at this time is take the opportunity. Do we want to do trivia? Am I messing everything up? Trivia real quick. All right, we got some built-in trivia here. So before I introduce this amazing team, let's do some trivia, because I want to test everyone's Chester knowledge. So
you got to be quick with it. We have some prizes. So we're gonna open up with the first trivia question, because Chester is a sports community, right? Right? See pride? So the first person who can raise their hand, and the lights, so Dr. Parkinson,
I don't know about
I need you to use your eyes, your good eyes, and identify the person who raises their hand first. So we need someone to name at least 5 Chester basketball champion years. Who can name?
Ralph Dorsey.
Who is it?
Ralph Dorsey was first.
Ralph Dorsey? Uh-oh, he got this one right. Ralph Dorsey, can you stand? Mr. Raoul?
83, 89, 2000, 2006.
And sorry, Mr. Ralph.
Mr. Francis, right here.
All right, Mr. Francis, wait, who was that? Mosley. Okay, Miss Mosley, can you stand?
89, 2000, 2005, 2008, 94.
All right, thank you. All right, Miss Mosley.
congratulations, Ms. Mosley.
So collectively, all of our Chester basketball championships years was 1983, 1989, the best year, 1994, 2000, 2005, 2008, 2011, and 2012.
Okay. Got another one?
All right. Who can name, you ready for this? You looking for the first hand? Who can name a couple that met at Chester High School and married and are still together?
Stand up.
Miss Maya?
Lady in the peach dress.
Lady in the peach? Who's the lady in the peach? Nicola Thompson?
That would be the hand.
Who was that? Jennifer and Lawrence Ham. Jennifer and class of 1976. Are the hams in the building? Yes. All right.
All right. All right. So throughout the night, we're going to have a little trivia for you all. So, moving back into our agenda, it's truly my pleasure to introduce, as I started and described initially, as this dynamic team that we have assembled here in the Chester Upland School District. I'm going to start out with Dr. Khalid Sutton, who's our Chief Academic Officer. I'm going to ask him just to say a few words, and they're going to all just briefly speak to the good people.
So I was hoping that we were running a little late so I wouldn't have to do this. But good evening, everyone. Good evening. All right, as Dr. Parkinson said, my name is Khalid Sutton. I'm serving as the Chief Academic Officer here. I work for the hardest department in the district. That's the Office of Curriculum and Instruction. That's where all the magic happens in our school district. Well, it will happen in our school district moving forward. Again, I'm excited to be a part of this team. I'm really here because of Craig Parkinson. I worked with him, well, I should say Dr. Parkinson, my bad.
It's all good.
Dr. Parkinson. I worked with Dr. Parkinson in the Phoenixville area school district. I started out there as his assistant principal at the high school, and then I moved on to become the principal of an elementary school in Phoenixville, as well as the supervisor of curriculum in Norristown, but I also have turnaround principalship in Philadelphia, as well as I turned around one of the Renaissance schools in the Philadelphia School District. So I do have some experience with populations similar to what we have here in Chester and some of the performances that we have here in Chester. But again, I'm just excited to be here. I look forward to working with you all. I kept asking myself, how do we channel that energy that we saw outside on Saturday? How do we bring that into our schools? So I'm hopeful that as you all, have your questions and share ideas, that we'll be able to solve that issue there. How do we bring that into our schools? So I'll be around. If you want to know my background, I'll be around. If you want to ask questions, I'm around. All right, thank you.
Again, and I try not to say too much about Dr. Sutton because I don't want to embarrass him, but I'm going to tell you, he is by far one of the sharpest and smartest individuals that I've ever met. When it comes to curriculum instruction, he's steep in this, and I'm excited about the work that he's going to do for our children. You talk about someone that just comes up with ideas and just lives and breathes this stuff. This is what he does. So you will definitely see us making progress in that area. And it's, again, not him on his own, because I don't want to put all that pressure on him. He will definitely be the think tank behind a lot of the great things that are happening, but we're all going to execute this together, you included. So again, Dr. Sutton's a great man. Introduce the next great man is Dr. Purcell Whitaker, who is our Director of Special Education, Student Services, and also a native of Chester.
Good evening, everybody. The prodigal son has returned. So, as Dr. Parkinson said, I am from Chester, Pennsylvania. My neighbor across the street is here in the audience. My aunt is here. I'll tell you a funny story. I was walking in here, and my aunt called me Dr. Whitaker. I turned around, I was like, really? It is PW to you, and you know that. But anyway, a little bit about my background and my why. I think it's important. When I was in graduate school, studying to be a school psychologist, because that's my background, I'm a school psychologist, I was very interested in the achievement gap, closing the racial achievement gap. And because of that, I spent a lot of my career in suburban school districts because there was a lot of European Americans versus African Americans, and that achievement gap existed. So I wanted to speak truth to power and be at the table there. But as I progressed in my career, I've been in education for a little over 15 years. I saw that being in administration in these suburban districts, I wasn't living my why. My why was to impact black and brown students. And it wasn't a large population where I was, and I was just unhappy. And the reason why I was unhappy because I wasn't living my why. And as I was going through that process, everything was guiding me to come back home. And I really felt like it was, and we talked about being spiritual, I really thought it was God's intervention to guide me to come back home. And everything was falling into place. I've known Dr. Parkinson for over 20 years. When he was coming on board, we had a conversation. I told him I was interested in coming. And now that I'm here, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so excited. I have a new energy myself to really make a difference in the community. One thing Dr. Sutton said that I have to disagree with, I think the Office of Special Education is the most difficult department in the district, but that's just my opinion. So with that said, I'm very excited, and Mr. Nichols said something about step up. I'm trying to make this trend, but you see the clipper in front of us right here? I feel like for a long time, the ship has been like underwater, so we need to rise up. And so that's I'm trying to have that trend. So Chester, let's rise up. When it comes to supporting our students in the community, let's rise up. When it comes to our education in terms of curriculum instruction, we're going to rise up. When it comes to providing special education services that are best for our children, we're going to rise up. And so I'm here to give back to the community, to support the community, and like Dr. Parkinson said, we have a wonderful, excellent team. I call them the super friends. And you never go, and I've been in many districts. I've been in Lower Merion, Centennial, Springford, and Westchester. When I look at our team, is doctor, and many of them are from Chester, Pennsylvania. So that is just it's so great to see. And we. The media always wants to highlight the negative things in Chester, and it's a positive thing that this cabinet and what we're doing, and what we want to do. So, like Dr. Sutton said, if you have any questions about special education and student services, I'll be here. So I'm here to help the district rise up and help the community rise up. Okay. So make sure you make that trending on Facebook. We're gonna rise up. All right. Take care.
Right. Rise up. That's what we're doing. All right, so it is truly my honor, my pleasure to introduce another Chester native, Dr. Lakia Chambers, our Director of Human Resources.
Skiwi. Good evening, everyone, and welcome home. Welcome home. We are so excited. I'm so happy to see everyone who found it not robbery to join us today or this evening for the purpose of talking about how we can partner in support of our children. That is our why. That is our focus. We shall never deviate from that. I could not express any more what Dr. Parkinson, Sutton, and Purcell Whitaker indicated with regards to our purpose here. I am the Director of Human Resources. I've been in the field of human resources for 23 years. So this is my work. This is what I do. This is what I know. Like many people said, it seemed like the time was now for me to come back home. So this was not something that was a default for me. It was purposeful and intentional. God does all things well. So I'm extremely excited to be here to serve my community. I am not here just because I am someone from Chester. I am here because I am from Chester and I have been educated and I have the experience to do the work. So what better place to come home and do the work? So again, we are excited. The Human Resources Department is doing some amazing things. We're trying to partner with the various universities around the community, and so that we can bring people into our school system and provide the services that our children need and they deserve. So you'll hear more information about that. You'll hear more information about other types of programs that we are engaging our community in, because we need the bodies, we need the people, we need the commitment, and we need the support. So we're going to be looking to each and every one of you to serve in various capacities. So answer your phones, answer your emails, and again, we are so excited and welcome home. And the only question I have to ask you is, are you ready? Let's get started. Are you ready? Let's get started.
What's that? Cheerleader. I think I heard that this Saturday, I believe. Yeah. All right. It's also now my honor and pleasure to introduce Ms. Tamara Darden, who is our director of our business director of business and operations. Ms. Darden.
I wish I would have went first because I don't know how to come after that. I'm going to be quick because I would like to give everyone time in the sense of time. Tamara Darden, as Dr. Parkinson said, I am the Director of Business Services. I would like to say this is the most important, as my counterparts think their departments is, but my department is definitely the most important. I'm here. My why is a little different than my counterparts. I actually didn't know much about Chester when I came here. I knew I was coming here. The district was in financial recovery. I came from Harrisburg doing the financial recovery project. Been in the business office at MCIU for 5 years. So when I got to Chester, that's when I developed my why. When I started meeting more of the students, meeting some of the alumni, and learning the Chester way, that's when my why developed. Like as Mr. Nichols said, Chester deserves just as much as the surrounding districts. I am here to help that happen. Anything I can do in the business office, I'm going to make it happen. Finance is a big part of a school. A school can't run without the finances. So anything I can do to make sure they are intact and grants are getting entered and budgets are meeting the students' needs, I'm going to make that happen. So I'm excited to be here in Chester. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Darden. And last but not least, we have Mr. Alfred Howard, our Director of Operations.
Thank you, Dr. Parkinson. Like Dr. Parkinson said, we have a great team that we have assembled to come here and support Chester Upland. They save the best for last, and I work for the hardest department in Chester Upland School District. I come here as the Director of Operations to support facilities and transportation. And one of the reasons I'm here because these children look like me. Right? For a long time, I served on the outside of Chester. Although I was through these streets, I'm from Philadelphia, from some of the roughest parts of Philadelphia, but I knew these streets of Chester because I hung down here when I was younger. I was formerly the Director of Maintenance for the entire school district of Philadelphia, where I had 220 schools with close to 500 employees. That job was easy to me because of the numbers that I put up there for work that I've done there has not been touched yet. So this is a challenge for me. My job is to come here and improve the curb appeal of our schools. I look at some of the schools around Chester that have been built for the charter organizations, and I sit and I place our buildings up against those, and I say to our administration, where would your child want to go? So why not Chester build new schools? Why not give them the opportunity to have what everybody else has? A clean, conducive to learning educational facility that everybody else has. That is what we should be doing. That's the way we attract our kids back to our schools. That's the way we attract people back to Chester. We need to start doing the same thing that all of the townships and counties around Chester are doing. So I'm here to do that job, and that's my number one concern, is to build safe learning facilities for our children that deserve better, who have been underserved for so long. So thank you very much. I appreciate you.
All right, it's time for trivia. Trivia time.
Time for trivia. So think back. Think back when you were roaming the halls of Chester High School and it was lunchtime. What was the best lunch served in the cash? You gotta raise your hand. I think this gentleman right here raised his hand. Stand up and say, what was the best lunch? The pizza? What else? People said the pizza and somebody said no. The cheeseburgers? The sausage. The sausage.
Well, you might have to give them all a prize, because that might have been the best of them.
Miss Average, I know. Can you give a couple more prizes? This gentleman said pieces. The lady back there said a cheeseburger, and the lady over there in the peach said a sausage. There you go.
She's like the tuna fish.
All right. Here's a Chester City. Here's a Chester City trivia question. And remember the rules. You You gotta raise your hand to be acknowledged, okay? Don't give away the answer. Raise your hand.
I know, we gotta knock it out.
All
We'll go
right?
real quick.
So, where would you find everyone in the afternoon on Mother's Day? All right, Delta Deer, right here.
That's right.
Come on, Miss Shelton. Oh, somebody help Miss Shelton, okay.
Oh, wait a minute, I gotta say this.
Okay.
Dressed in our finest down on 3rd Street, watching
right.
the Elks parade.
That's right. All right, Miss Shelton. Let's give Miss Shelton her prize. That is absolutely where you would find people, at the Mother's Day Parade on 3rd Street.
All right, so for the sake of time, what I want to do is I want to make sure that we get through all of the questions that were presented tonight. So basically, I'm going to go through our goals and just really talk about this. And a lot of this is, pretty much common sense and what we're looking to do. So as we've talked about, and as Receiver Nichols said, we are in receivership, and we've been there since 2012. So again, as he stated, a district becomes a part of the receivership due to financial reasons. This is why this man is here, who has a financial background. But again, as he stated, at some point, our goal is to become financially stable, to find ourselves out of receivership. The goal, as we stated from the onset, is to provide the school district back to the community. And I do believe we're going to make that happen. So that's one of our goals. We want to build longevity for staff. We talk about the high turnover that's taking place, not only at the administrative level, but in the classroom with our teachers. We want to make sure that people come to Chester and want to make Chester their home, that they want to stay here and be a part of this great community. So again, it's extremely important to build some longevity and to have people stay in this community for years to come. One of the things that when I came to Chester within the first couple weeks, really the first week, one of the things that I noticed is that there seemed to be a lack of procedures and systems in place. I think if we can come together, not I think, but if and when we come together and put things in place that make sense, that are important for a healthy school district to run under, to be facilitated under, we're going to be fine. I tell you, the people in Chester are strong. We have great people here. But what I've noticed is that we just need to put some systems, some procedures in place and just make some things happen. Once we have some consistency, things are going to take care of themselves. Again, you've heard us talk about a robust curriculum. Our goal is to provide our students, the children of the Chester Upland School District, a curriculum that is second to none. Something that, a brand that everybody will believe in. Our children will grow. One of the things that we need to focus on, sometimes we teach in through an antiquated system. We teach like they taught, 30, 40, 50 years ago. One of the things that we are going to focus on, and we need to focus on, are the jobs for tomorrow. A lot of the children today need to learn, how to code. A lot of children today, there's still things that we've done back in the day. Manufacturing will still be a part of what we do. We need to teach our children skills and the things that they are going to need to be successful when they walk out of the doors of the Chester Upland School District, which is extremely important. Those are things that we are focusing on as we look to educate our children, to provide them with those amazing opportunities, amazing learning opportunities. And again, it's thinking outside the box. If we do things the same way that we've done them for the past 20, 30, 40 years, we're going to yield some of those same results, things that we did not enjoy seeing with our children. So we're going to make sure that we make some adjustments along the way with our curriculum, and we're going to improve our scores over the next few years for our students academically. One of the things that I want to see us do is provide our students of the Chester Upland School District with unforgettable experiences. For almost 11 years, where I was as a principal, I would take my children abroad to go to Europe. We would go out of the country to just see things that they had not been exposed to. Sometimes we need to experience opportunities. We need to see things that are different, see that there are people who are different, and learn different things. And when we do those things, it makes us desire and want some of those things that we go out and we see. So I believe in providing opportunities to the children on many levels, exposing our children to different things. And I think we all will agree that exposure is important. If you expose children to things and get them to see and believe, they're going to be better people. I can assure you of that. Again, something I've personally witnessed. So we are going to make sure that we provide our children in the Chester Upland School District with opportunities to be exposed to these things. Love to start a foreign exchange program to bring people to be a part of what we do here, but also take our children abroad and see how different cultures are living. So it's important to expose them in many areas. So that's one of the things that we're going to do. And again, I said this on day one at the convocation when I met with the staff. If you were to pick up the phone, it's not a phone book anymore, but if you were to go online and find someone that lived in Phoenixville and cold call them, and just any number, I promise you this will happen. You know, they may not say, I loved Craig Parkinson. What they will definitely say to you is that Craig Parkinson loved the kids, supported the children, put them first in everything I did. That is the most important thing to me in this, while we're here, are the children of Chester Upland School District. Again, the question I was asked is, how did you last 15 years in the district? And it's the same way I'm gonna last while I'm gonna be in Chester. I don't get caught up in any of the craziness. I don't get caught up in any of the gossip or the things that people say about me. The only thing that matters to me is what the children think about me and what the children think about what we're doing for their educational experience. If you take care of the children, everything else will take care of itself. I'm a firm believer in that. So some will like me, some will love me, some will hate me, you know, at the end of the day. It's a part of life, and I get it. I always say that, you know, after being in this role, in this job, you develop what's called a callous skin. And you know, when you have callous feet, you can walk on nails and glass and you're good. I feel as though what I've been through as an educator, that's what I'm built for. So I'm built to be here to take care of the children. So we will provide our children of the Chester Upland School District a top-notch education, second to none, and that's our goal. I'm going to fly through the mission. All of you should know the mission, but I just wanted to make sure you were aware. I'll read it quickly. The mission of Chester Upland School District is committed to providing all students the opportunity to achieve excellence in the 4 A's, which are academics, athletics, the arts, and activities. So we focus on the 4 A's here, and I'm going to focus on the, you know, academics. We all know how important that is, but one that people tend to not really give as much attention to and focus on are the activities. We need to make sure that our children are a part of at least a minimum of one activity in each of their school building. I'm asking for, you know, 2 to 3, but a minimum of one activity to feel that connection. We all know that research supports when a student is connected to their school community, they're going to perform better. So that's something that I'm asking the school building principals to make sure they're doing, the teachers, the staff, and of course you, the community, the alumni who will support that. So it's extremely important that our students are connected in at least one activity. The vision of the Chester Upland School District is for every student to graduate from the high school ready for college and or any career in spite of any challenges that they may face. Shared values, every student and adult feels cared for, valued, and supported every minute of every day. So that is the vision of the Chester Upland School District. You know, one of the things I talked to Receiver Nichols about, you know, we are going to expand upon some of these vision statements and make them more robust and build upon it. But what I do say, it's focusing on the children, and that's what we want to do and make sure we're doing, and we'll continue to build upon this vision. So let's get to the point. What do we want the Chester Upland School District to be? A beacon of hope for all of our students who we serve. We want every child who walks in this district to feel a sense of hope, feel pride, and feel that they're cared for. We want every child to feel that it is possible for them to go out and do great things. And in order for that to happen, it's going to take all of us, again, the alumni, to come and partner with us to instill those opportunities for our children and give them that belief that great things can and will happen for each and every one of them. A place where students receive exceptional learning opportunities, and I've spoken to that already. We want to provide our students with, you know, again, a curriculum that's going to help build upon the skills that are needed to be successful tomorrow. So exceptional learning opportunities, again, is providing students things that are not traditionally done. You know, obviously we'll teach them what is needed, but we're going to build upon skills that are going to help them to be successful in tomorrow and today's world. So we're going to make that happen. A place where students feel loved and cared for. I've asked every student who I come in contact with on each day, I ask them if they have at least one adult in this building who they feel they can go to if they were in need. It's extremely important for our children to feel connected to the big people in this building. They need to feel that there's one person that in a time of need that they can just go to and say, listen, I need to talk to you about this. I need some help with this. I need your support. Without that, our children become lost, and they turn to people to give them advice or to give them support that just aren't built to do that. So it's important for our children to have an adult in this building who they feel they can go to in a time of need. We want to become a place where the people believe in the product that we're putting together. You know, I believe that a lot of people are doubting, you know, Chester, the Chester Upland School District. And again, I'll say it over and over, Chester is a place filled with amazing people. One of the first things that I did when I got here, and you know, I don't want to digress because we're on a time limit, but I came here and I researched Chester, and one of the points of pride was the band. You know, I was told that the band at one time was 500 deep, you know, like blocks, you know, in blocks. So, you know, I just heard it was an amazing, you know, group of people, group of individuals. So we are looking to do things like that. You know, I think that's a part of building something that people can believe in. You know, Chester has a steep tradition. We're not coming to save Chester. Chester is Chester. You know, we are just coming to help and bring about the things that have already existed in Chester. Chester is a wonderful place. And we're going to make sure that we provide the support to make sure that we, you know, get back to where you all have been. You know the great things that Chester has produced. Chester has produced some amazing talent. And there's still that same talent in this community. There are still a ton of musicians sitting in those elementary schools, sitting in the middle school, but they're just not given the tools to make those things happen. So again, I've talked to a number of people and I talked about the hidden talent in Chester, and our goal is just to pull it out. Again, I talked about a brand that people can believe in, so we're going to move on to the next slide. You know, I always talk to people about children being in a safe learning environment. I speak to individuals about 3 places where we should all feel safe. The first being in our homes, where we live on a daily basis. We should always feel safe in our home. Obviously, in the place where we worship, where we spend our time and we worship, we should always feel safe when we walk into our church or into our, you know, to the place where we worship. And in a school building, every child should feel safe when they enter the doors of the school and not feel like they have to worry about, you know, being bullied or being picked on or being teased or, you know, not knowing as much as the other student and being teased. These are things that we want to make sure we take care of and make sure that our children feel that, you know, they're going to be supported and have a safe learning environment. You know, Receiver Nichols spoke about, you know, constructing new buildings, which is extremely important. As you walk through some of these buildings, and it took this gentleman, I think it was his first or second week, we were walking the halls and walking through buildings, and he looks at me and he says, we can't have our babies in this building. You know, they cannot be in here. We need to do something. So my thought was, like, okay, we'll be making an adjustment next year or the year after. He's like, we'll have to do something pretty quick. So, you know, for someone to walk in and instantly notice that the learning conditions for some of our children just aren't right, you know, you can only respect that, you know, and you talk about not being an educator, you know, that's what an educator would do. They would walk in and they see things. So I do see him as an educator and having the vision in the eyes of what's needed for our children. I just want to, you know, shift to really quick. Our students have been out of school for 18 months. We've dealt with some traumatic issues. You know, this pandemic has changed the lives of many of us. And one of the things that we've been focusing on is reacclimating our children to that learning environment again. A lot of people keep scratching their head and they're saying, there's something different about these kids. Kids been home for 18 months, you know, just doing Zooms in their pajamas and, you know, doing what they want to do without any really structure and accountability. That is the difference, you know. So we are working to get our children reacclimated to this learning environment, which is extremely important. And I get it, you know, everyone is questioning, you know, what's going on in the school, you know, kids are fighting, you know, they're being disrespectful. Trust me, that's not something that any of us will support. And I can assure you that we are working to make those adjustments with our children. You know, I'll tell you a quick story. I was in the hall yesterday, told a young man I needed him to pull his mask up. You would have thought that I had offended him, you know, significantly. You know, he began to challenge me and, you know, said some words that weren't, you know, something that I felt were appropriate for anybody to be saying. So, you know, but what we did, you know, didn't suspend the young man. What I did was I scheduled a meeting to have a conversation with him. You know, Mr. Simonson, our school security, arranged this meeting, you know, to get this young man to provide him a teachable moment, to get them to understand that this is something that we're not going to tolerate. It's a building of respect, and that's what we're working on, creating a respectful environment, and it starts with the conversation. You know, sometimes I think our children are looking for responsive, you know, me yelling and fighting back with them with that, you know, a conversation where we sit down and say, this is what we're going to be doing moving forward. So, you know, we are training our children to get back and used to being in a school environment. we got to build that academic stamina. Again, a child who is on a Zoom class, when they turn off their screen and no one sees them, they're going to take a nap or they're doing whatever they want to do. Again, being in your class, attentive, sitting up for 6.5, 7 hours a day takes a toll on these children, but we are teaching them and helping to rebuild that academic stamina. And we're doing this together. So we have a robust social emotional learning program for our children. We are providing them with counseling. We're working with them because we know that many of these students are coming back after 18 months just not equipped with the skills that are needed. And our goal is to make sure that they're ready to go. So we are working with each and every one of our children. Something really quick about our safe learning environment. Receiver Nichols, this was the part we were talking about the future plans, but he shared that we're looking to build some new buildings, trying to make some things happen in the district. So I think, that was a wonderful message for each and every one of you all to hear. I think it's time. I think it's time that we do put something nice, shiny, and new in the community of the Chester Upland School District, where we can provide our students that opportunity to be in a learning environment that they feel they can be proud of. And we're going to make that happen. Under the support and directive and leadership of Receiver Nichols. All right, round of applause. All right. All right, one trivia real quick before we get into the next piece.
One trivia. Okay, can anybody name a gentleman who was a football coach, police officer for the city of Chester, a principal and superintendent for, okay, I saw a hand. Whose hand was that? I know, but did I see, who said it? Was that Livia? Yes.
Livia.
All right.
You want to do another one?
That is correct.
We'll go one more.
Bob Crawford.
Do one more?
Let's give it up for Mr. Crawford.
Oh, you got to take it?
A great man in our city.
Oh, right there. With her. Okay. Okay. All right, really quick, what we want to talk about in 30 seconds, the alumni partnership. Why are we here tonight? We are here, and we've asked you to come here tonight, really to just let you know that we need you. And I sincerely say this to you, we really need each and every one of you to support what we're trying to do. And there's so many ways you can help. We've provided a few examples. Obviously, we're looking to start a mentoring program for our young people. Extremely important. It's important for you, especially the people who have walked the halls of the Chester High School, who have walked the halls and who have been successful. We need our children to see the people who have made great things happen after they've left the walls of Chester High School. We're looking to establish a mentoring program and to just get some support from you all to do this. So I think we did collect each and every one of your email addresses, so we'll be sending some follow-up information about that. Dr. Chambers, who's our Director of HR, one of the things that we're looking to establish is a substitute teaching program where we could have some of our alumni who would love to come back and spend some time in the classroom. What'd you laugh? Is that a laugh of you going to do it with us? You coming? Oh, no, you're not. You can make it happen. So we definitely are asking for your support in that area if you'd be willing to come and provide some support. Did you want to speak to that?
I just have.
Okay, Dr. Jackie and Miss Alicia Martin, please.
Good evening, everyone. First, I want to say thanks for this opportunity, but I will say we had the pleasure of meeting with Dr. Parkinson last week, and we spoke for a bit. And one of the things that he said that resonated with me and confirmed him to me was that he prayed about his decision and God said go. And I'm a person that when God tells you to go, you go. You go. So we want to say again, welcome. We will support anything that you need us to do, and we are here for you. Last year, Principal Cameron came to us and asked us to help her with a mentoring program. We started a soft launch. We met with some of the students. We rallied some of the alumni. Folks got their clearances, but we need more people because we don't want to just work with the high school students. We want to make sure we work with all students. The mentoring initiative will restart this year. We will be working with the ninth graders. We were excited that they were back in the building, and we will follow them for 4 years. They will be paired with someone. There will be programming. There will be training for the mentors. You have to get a clearance, so if you are interested, let us know. There is no age limit. Everybody has talent, time, and treasures that they can share with all students. The culminating event will be an international trip. So we just wanted to provide that information. Did I forget anything? You did well. Thank you.
That is amazing. It is fantastic. So listen, everybody should sign up. We can all become mentors. We can all support our children, so I'm looking forward to that happening. Dr. Chambers, did you want to speak to the substitute? Okay, we're good? All right, Dr. Chambers said we will be in touch. All right, so alumni, we're just asking you to help us make this happen. Dr. Whitaker, we will rise. We will rise together to provide our children the academic experience they deserve. We will renew our commitment and focus on enriching the lives of our children in the Chester Upland School District. We will continue to demonstrate our resilience and overcome challenges that are presented, and we will reimagine our delivery of instruction to our students through innovative and outside-the-box practices, which we've all talked about this evening. So again, you know, it's going to take us to make this happen, all of us together, and it's my hope and prayer that you will, you know, sign up for the challenge and the task and just be a part of this movement. When I came to Chester Upland, and Dr. Sutton would laugh at me, I said we're actually going to be doing some town hall meetings and some listening sessions. So these listening sessions are up on the screen. This is where we want you to come with those tough questions, the community, and also suggestions. What I say to people is it's okay to disagree. It's okay to talk about the problems and highlight those things, but I always ask if you could share a solution or give us a think about, a wonderment, something that you believe you know, could contribute to helping us to restore and move forward. All right, so these are our upcoming town hall meetings and listening sessions. You know, Mr. Nichols and I are going to, you know, we're going to hit the road and just share our mission and share our vision with everybody. We're serious about what we're doing, and you know, we're going to commit to making this happen together. And yeah, we're going to actually I'm putting out the place where they'll be. The times will vary. We're still working with some of the sessions. The sessions that are taking place in the school will be at 6:30. The Willie Mae Leak Center and the Luke Community Christian Center, we're still working on the time for those. But 6:30 for the events that are taking on October 25th, 26th, 27th, and November 1st at Toby Farm. Excuse me? Okay, it's the same time Dr. Chambers said, so all events will begin at 6:30 p.m. Okay, so we look to see you there, and you know, obviously we'll be advertising these events. And before we move to the questions, I have a huge ask for each and every one of you, and some of you have already done this. I don't know, I'm hoping that many of you have seen on our social media sites, we posed the question to the teachers in the beginning of the school year, the staff, to our staff members, why Chester Upland School District? And we've seen some amazing responses from those individuals. So what we're asking you to do is we have our video photographer here tonight who's going to ask you, you know, what about Chester Upland? Why Chester Upland School District? What was my question? Okay, what does Chester Upland School District mean to you is what I have wanted you to answer. So what does Chester Upland School District mean to you? That's the question that you'll be asked. And if you could just take, you know, 20, 30 seconds on the camera and just share with some great passion what it means to you, because I know it means a great deal because you're here with us this evening. So again, I want to thank you for joining us. We're going to move into the Q&A portion. We'll take 15, 20 minutes for some questions and then move forward. All right?
So thank you for those of you who actually provided the questions that we're going to pose before the receiver and the superintendent. We're going to start with this one. Mr. Nichols, you said step up. What does that mean for the alumni?
Good question. In other school districts, the alumni participate a whole lot, and I'm not saying that we don't do that here, because I know, especially those individuals that are in this room, you all do a great, great job with doing that. So stepping up is really giving us those suggestions, recommendations that we need, supporting our students, you know, and being a part of the changes that are coming here to the district. So I know that the communication from the, I shouldn't say I know, yeah, I do know, the communication from the district to the community hasn't been consistent. And that's one thing that Dr. Parkinson and I have been working on, to ensure that there's consistency with the communication so that people can see exactly what it is that they can do for our students here in Chester Upland. So stepping up is really just, let's roll up our sleeves and get some things done, because again, it's going to take all of us to accomplish the goals set forth.
Next question. Any proposals on how we can engage students more?
Yeah, you know, definitely as we speak about the activities and taking ownership of their community and helping them to recognize that this is their home. That what do I always hear? Chester is what Chester makes. What makes Chester? There we go. So give me that again. What Chester makes Chester. So I constantly hear that. I've heard it, and I love the slogan. I think what we need to do to engage our children is just, again, present them various opportunities, you know, within the school district to get them reconnected to the community, to give them opportunities that they don't receive. I know one of the things that we talked about, you know, for the kids who want to be a part of the summer league, you know, to have some activities for them to do in the summer, you know, bring something like that back. We want to extend our school day. The school day traditionally closes or ends at 3:30, 4 o'clock, with the exception of if you're in a sports activity. One of the things that we talked about was keeping our school buildings open, you know, into the later evenings, you know, 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock, to give them a place where they can be, focus on their homework, you know, provide them a meal, keep them engaged in activities within the building. I think that's a big part of what needs to happen for our children as we move forward.
Next question. I believe this is, will the superintendent's team include city residents?
Oh, if you're speaking of, I'm not sure, if the superintendent team is the advisory board, what are
So you can talk about that. We are.
Is the author of this question?
We are starting that advisory board, so that.
Yeah, I can speak to the superintendent. We have an advisory board that Receiver Nichols and myself are putting together, where that will involve community members of Chester. So to that question, I'm going to say yes.
So we're going to ask some questions regarding the new schools. Will the new school include a vocational program?
Yeah. We'll share it. Well, so I'm going to say yes. I mean, we already have career technical education programs in our building currently. But I would say the question would be, are we going to expand those vocational programs? And the answer is going to be yes. We're going to expand what we already have, because we do have some vocational programs already exist in our district.
This is a comment, not a question. Please consider the Showwater site as a high school site, Showwater STEM Academy. It has the land around it for tennis courts, pools, etc. So please consider that.
I'm glad that came up, because that is a consideration. I'll say it that way, yes.
Next question, will civic education be taught in Chester High School?
Isn't civics taught? Yeah. From my understanding, we do teach civics. There's civics being taught.
I see somebody. You're saying no? Oh, Pierre.
That there are no civics classes in their government courses. Okay, well, let me say this. Definitely. I mean, that's obviously something that all of our children who are coming through an educational system, that's a requirement of if you look at PA school code, it is a requirement to teach government civics classes. So that's something I'm going to, speak to that more closely, but I can tell you when we looked at the program of studies, I know they have government classes, civics, but to that question, yes. Taught in Chester Upland School District.
So Dr. Parkinson, I know you spoke a bit about social emotional components of our students. This question is, what are we going to do concerning mental health?
Yeah. And the mental health is definitely a part of the social emotional learning that we're doing. This is being led through Dr. Purcell Whitaker's office. We have a gentleman, Dr. York Williams, who has joined the team, who is steep in that learning. Obviously, the mental health of our children is paramount. Again, as we talk about safety, the students' mental health, it's difficult to provide a child with instruction or to educate a child if they're struggling with mental health issues. And, one of the things that we talk about and you see in the media is to own it, to know that it exists and not be ashamed of the issues the stigmas that come along with mental health. We're going to treat the students, provide them with support. Again, we have a number of systems that are in place currently to work with our children who are struggling with mental health issues, and we'll continue to build upon that. These are conversations that we started off the school year with. Again, as we had our students returning after being away for 18 months, we noticed that the higher level of students coming into our buildings with mental health issues seem to have increased. And again, I do believe that some parts of that are due to what we experienced with this pandemic. We're going to continue to provide the support to our children who need that.
We also talked about the importance of rejuvenating the Chester High School band. So this question is related to that. It's more of a comment than a question. Starting music in the elementary schools so that the high school band can be equipped with knowledgeable students who can read music.
I'm going to just say amen to that. Definitely. Amen.
All right, we're going to move on to some questions that involve parents. Will you look to create or strengthen the Parent-Teacher Association?
So that's a definite. I've actually had the opportunity to meet with a few of the parents. I've met with an individual who was a part of the PTO for a number of years. I understand, I believe they were on the PTO for 15 years. I've reached out to that individual and asked him to help me resurrect and bring that back here, especially in this building. I have spoken to some of our elementary school, our primary grade levels where they have a functioning PTO. But again, it's that partnership. It's important to have our parents participate in the education of our children. So to that question, absolutely, yes, we're going to look to continue to strengthen the PTA organization.
Thank you. This question I'm going to pose to the receiver. Can some past or current parents be on the board?
I'm assuming that means the advisory board?
It doesn't speak to, I'm not sure if it's the school board.
So the school board members are elected, and most certainly everyone has an opportunity to petition to run for public office. There's currently a municipal election this year. I think it's too late this year, but the next municipal election for the city, Upland, and Chester Township is in 2023. And again, as long as you're a resident, 18 years or over, in the township and Upland, you need 10 signatures. The city of Chester, 100 to petition. You most certainly can run for public office. But yes, we're having this advisory council that we're starting, and we most certainly encourage parents, community members, and everyone to be a part of it. We'll be giving more information at our town hall meetings in the upcoming weeks.
Thank you. This is more of a comment, and I want to say, is Mr. Dorsey still here? Okay, so I may need you to provide some clarification around this. Chester Biddy basketball and cheerleaders have been having problems with gym time. Is there anything that you're asking?
We can schedule a meeting, that's all.
Yeah.
Conversation that's been going on today, now that I got a chance to hear what folks are saying tonight, and I think it's going to be a different atmosphere when we put up a mid-sample for the upcoming year.
Yeah, as Receiver Nichols said, we definitely would love to schedule some time to have a one-on-one conversation about that. Definitely.
Okay. Question. What is the reporting relationship between the receiver and the superintendent?
He's my boss. That's it. I can't explain it more than that. I report to Receiver Nichols, but the friendship is growing. So he's a good man, and hopefully he'll have me for another day after tonight. So we'll see.
Okay, and the final question that we have had posed to us this evening. Please discuss briefly COVID testing, mitigation efforts, and nursing for students.
I can have Dr. Whitaker, come and provide a deeper dive if I leave anything out. But we are following, the CDC guidelines. We are following the Pennsylvania, the Department of Health guidelines. All of the information regarding our COVID-19 reporting is on the website. I feel really good. I feel really good about what we've done this year to work to mitigate the COVID-19, in our school district. Again, we talk about cases being up. One of my greatest concerns, and I'm so glad this question was asked, I'm encouraging everyone to get vaccinated. That's one of the things I talk about. So, I think we start with that conversation and trying to encourage people to become vaccinated. And I know it's a topic that some are like, it's their right to not be, and we respect that. But I'm just asking everyone to consider that. We've seen with science that those who are vaccinated and have contracted COVID-19 seem to have a faster healing time, a faster recovery time. Students, people who have been vaccinated, our close contacts have changed how that was. Prior to vaccination, if a student was in a room with someone who contracted COVID, they were automatically quarantined for a number of days. But students who have been vaccinated, if there's someone in your classroom who contracts COVID, you can do what's called test to remain. You basically just need to have a COVID test, and if you're asymptomatic, you can remain in the building. Students who are considered close contacts and then actually contract COVID, they can actually return sooner. It was at one point a 10-day process. Some students can return, and Dr. Whitaker, correct me if I'm wrong, is it 5 days? 5 days, no symptoms, can return on day 6. So my point is, all of this is clearly explained on our district website, our COVID portal. But what we've seen is the students who have been vaccinated, we've had very few issues with them. The interesting thing is the highest numbers that we're seeing are in our elementary buildings, which was the original, when we started seeing cases. But I think we have a great team. We are one of the only districts who has their own Dr. Fauci. We have a gentleman who's on staff, a consultant who's a doctor, who provides feedback. When things take place, it's so nice to be able to pick up the phone and have a conversation with him and be able to talk through these situations. Because none of us, although we have doctor behind our name, in front of our name, we're not medical doctors. So I always feel more comfortable getting that information from someone who's a true medical professional to give us that guidance. So every decision that we made here in Chester Upland School District has come from the advice and the direction and guidance of a medical doctor, a medical profession who supports this district. But we're doing all we need to do to keep our children safe, which is the most important thing to all of us, to make sure our children are safe in this district, along with our staff. Is that it?
That concludes our questions for the evening.
Well, I just want to personally thank each and every one of you for coming out tonight. That does conclude our meeting. I'm going to turn it over to Receiver Nichols to close us out.
And again, thank each and every one of you for coming out. We look forward to a collaborative effort with our alumni of Chester High School. I see a lot of people with their orange and black. I wore mine, and I was laughing with School Board Director Quell. She said, "How many orange shirts have you purchased since you became receiver?" I said, "I have 4 in the closet. This was the only one that fit, so I'm going to use the gym." Ms. Shelton said I have all this COVID weight on me to get some of it off, but it's It's great to see everyone. Failure is not an option. That's one thing that they're probably all tired of hearing me say, but coming in the door, failure is not an option for us at all. We are moving to restore our district. We are going to change this district and turn it around and do what's best for the young people in which we serve. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. So you guys can go home, watch the Eagles, and get something to eat.